The Business Climate Index, compiled quarterly by the Economic Policy Research Center, tracks business performance, expectations, and operating conditions across Uganda. The latest report shows that although the overall business environment improved, performance varied significantly across sectors.
The results of the Uganda Business Climate Index for the quarter that has just ended.
The Economic Policy Research Center has released the latest Business Climate Index results, indicating a rebound in Uganda's business sentiment. The index now stands at 125.6 points, up from 119.9 in the previous quarter, an improvement driven by a stronger exchange rate and easing operational costs for many businesses.
There is an improvement generally in the exchange rates. So the Forex bureaus in particular reported that the exchange rates were really favorable, and they saw so many people, exchanging money. The dollar went to as low as 3,400. So the Forex bureaus or businesses dealing in financial intermediation really saw a boom within their activities or within their sales, and that explains this improvement within the service sector.
Feels that the agriculture sector weakened, weighed down by a prolonged dry season that affected production and sales. In contrast, the services sector saw stronger performance, aided by improved exchange rate conditions that lowered the cost of imported inputs.
Businesses that are dealing in agriculture inputs like seedlings, like hoes, like pesticides, of course that implies that they will not be able to sell since farmers are not demanding for those products because of that dry spell. In fact, when you look at the news, like the Daily Monitor on June 9th, they expected this dry spell was really expected, and indeed it happened during the months of July, August 2025. Now,
employment, most businesses showed resilience. A majority maintained their workforce, while only 14% laid off workers, mostly part-time staff, reflecting cautious optimism in the economy.
The results here show that despite the improvement in the general business environment, it is possible that businesses are retaining their workforce. About 74% of the businesses reported having retained the same workforce as for the previous quarter. And then when we asked about those who laid off, and we noted that about 14% of them reported that they laid off some of their workers, relative to the 11 or 12% who reported that they hired some more workers.
The improvement, several persistent challenges continue to constrain business operations. These include unstable electricity supply, multiple taxation, and increasing cases of vandalism, especially targeting power infrastructure.
Persistent and reliable power supply and multiple taxation remain the key business challenges that were highlighted by the majority of the businesses. And when it comes to power outages, some of you stay in these communities and you know what has been happening. And this was mainly attributed to the transition from the service providers from Umeme to UEDCL, and business communities feel like this transition has really not yet stabilized. UEDCL is not yet there. So power is on and off, and we know what this really implies for business that solely relies on electricity.
Presenting the key findings, the EPRC has emphasized the need for targeted interventions to sustain growth momentum, especially in electricity reliability, services sector expansion, and infrastructure protection.
We ask government to have targeted or to put in place targeted interventions such as improving value chains, stabilizing input and output markets, supporting the workforce resilience within these sectors so that we can enable these sectors to regain their strength and we see a better performance in the upcoming quarter.
Transformers can take more than 6 months. So the effects of the transition are going to be there. But now one of the current problems for businesses, especially for the manufacturers, is vandalism. So you're right to say that we should not be attaching ourselves much more to that. We are past that, but we are saying that cannot go away quickly because UEDCL, remember, also inherited all infrastructure. That the substations had not been upgraded in conjunction with a growing population. So they are
business climate rebounding and sectors responding differently to market forces. Analysts say the coming month will be crucial as Uganda heads deeper into the election cycle. Naomi Namsoke for NSTV.